Hey guys, welcome back to Tennis 50, and of course the story of the day in tennis world is the exit from the French Open of Yannick Sinner, and it is totally down to the heat. Just like me, he gets heat strokes when he plays in the sun. He's one of the greatest athletes of our time, and therefore of all time. He's faster and hits harder the ball than anyone else. And yeah, he has struggled in long games, but usually it's in the heat. But when you're playing in the sun, it's a different thing. Here in Hong Kong right now, it's 34 degrees with over 80% humidity. But if you play at 7 a.m. or after 5 or 6 p.m., despite the heat, it's still okay for me. But put me 10 minutes in the sun and my legs start to wobble, and I just don't have any more energy, and it's pretty much what we saw with Yannick, unfortunately. And look, it's completely ridiculous, right? He was blasting the other guy. He was one game away from winning, and then basically he was sick and no more energy, and lost the game against a guy who all credit to him for managing to close this match, because it's not easy to play someone of the caliber of Yannick, even when they are unwell or if they are injured. And he did his job well, but he's not the caliber of guy that's going to go to the final. And a lot of people will be maybe tuning out of the French Open altogether, because watching Yannick is a spectacle that's amazing. But the real point that I want to emphasize is that given the heat that we've seen in Australia, and they have a heat rule, so much as have been delayed, and people were complaining, that they are advantaging other certain people. But the heat and playing in the sun in those conditions, it becomes unhealthy and beyond what normal tennis should be accepted to be played in. You can always say, yeah, it's the same for both, but it's obvious that guy who grew up in Florida, here in Hong Kong, or in, even though there's no big Hong Kong slam champion, but guys who grew up also in South America in the heat are more used to it. Yannick comes from the northern side of Italy, from the mountains, and he's got a light skin, and yeah, that's his Achilles heel, I suppose you can say that. And in that way, you can say, well, other people have other problems, like a poor serve or a poor backhand. But to me, it just the real point is that tournament directors have in their hand a very scary weapon. If they know the weather forecast, they can basically hamper the chances of winning of Yannick and Novak, given his age. He's getting less resistant to extreme heat conditions, and force them to play at noon, at 2 o'clock, and in these unbearable conditions. And is it better for the spectacle? Do you really enjoy watching that? To me, it was a shame. It's disgusting. And of course, they could close the roof. Apparently, there's some heat rule in at the French Open, but it was not met yet. But all the players were really reaching their limit, and it becomes unhealthy and could be dangerous, because as long as there's a ball to run after, you're going to push, and we see players collapse after the last ball, because there's the will to get after the ball is there, and once there's no more ball to run after, they just collapse, and we've seen that with Jakub Mensik. But basically, the main point I want to emphasize is that now tournament directors can decide, okay, let's give a chance to Zverev. Alcaraz is injured. Yannick, if we put him to start a game at noon, and the conditions are at the limit of the bearable, or we can get rid of him and give a chance to another guy. If Zverev wins this tournament, I don't think anybody will respect him for it, because he would not have beaten the top two guys. If you don't beat Alcaraz and Sinner, okay, Alcaraz is injured, but if you don't at least beat one of them, I don't think you have really yeah, you've won a tournament, but everybody will look down on that performance. And I think in this case, the people who decide the schedule and the tournament director, Amélie Mauresmo, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but they knew quite well that there was a big risk. And what have they won? An absolutely shameful spectacle, because there was not much tennis. I mean, what fun was there to see a guy on the verge of collapse for 3 sets? And he's playing. They know he's playing against a grinder. Doesn't have big shots. Just he's gonna grind, and that's what he did. He was grinding all the way to the end. It's the nightmare player when you're in the sun. And I know what you're gonna comment. I know obviously, and I've said all the arguments that say you could say that it's the same for both, but again, I think at some point it's unhealthy, and I think you could argue that the French Open has done Yannick dirty, and obviously the outcome will be completely different had they played a bit later in the evening, or if there was a proper heat rule at the French Open, and if the roof had been closed, which is not a good solution. As Novak said in a press conference, why would the top players benefit from a closed roof while all the other courts have an open roof? So, pardon the noise around me, but it's just I have a bit of time now to record this and share a bit my opinion on this as a fan of tennis and as someone at 50 years old who struggles to play in the sun. And if I get into a tournament here in Hong Kong in the summer, well, I don't think it's a good idea. I have to wait September, even that October to enter any tournament, or make sure that I never played in the daytime. And nighttime tennis is completely different, and indoor tennis is a different sport altogether. And I don't think there's any better player indoors than Yannick. So anyway, we hope that Yannick recovers well. I'm sure after a cold bath and some fluids, he'll be totally okay. I mean, heat strokes, I've had a couple of them, and your legs are completely cut. You just can't do anything. You feel sick, and then as soon as you've recovered, a couple of hours later, you'd be good to go again. And he was hoping to get that second wind, I suppose, and he never got it. We're going to see more of this probably with players with a weaker complexion or players that are a bit older. And to me, it's not fun. And what's the point of having press conferences afterwards to ask him about it? I mean, I think those press conferences become ridiculous. It's embarrassing for the losers, and the questions you ask to the winners are just as boring as it is. And I'm so tired of journalists asking to Yannick if he thinks he can have more Grand Slams than this and that player. It's really not interesting to listen to. He could answer that question once a year and we would be done with the press conferences. He's answered it so many times. So to me, it's a real shame. I enjoy watching Yannick. People who say it's boring probably don't understand tennis very well. It's always interesting to see how he's moving, how he's smacking the ball, and everyone is taking inspiration from that. And we've lost that inspiration today or yesterday. For me, it was overnight, and I couldn't watch the game. And this morning, I was getting messages from my friend. Wow, what happened to Zinner? And I was like, oh, please don't tell me. I haven't seen the game yet. And I couldn't believe at 5-1 it was still okay. I'm like, what did you mean? And then it all happened. It's I don't think it's interesting. I think it's just a shame. But let me know what you think in the comments. I think I've already answered all the rebuttals that people are going to have. To me, the tournament has lost already a lot of interest if you can basically eliminate someone or put him in very big difficulty just by the way you schedule your tournament. I don't think the French Open has won anything, because the guy going to the next round, no disrespect for the little brother Cerundolo, but he's obviously you've seen the first scoreline of the first 3 sets. He's not the caliber of player that we hope to see in the next round. But there you go. That's also tennis sometimes, but it doesn't have to be that way. Bye bye, guys.